Hello, good morning to all. All of you, please stand and close your eyes. We'll start the class with a silent prayer. Please be seated. How are you all? Are you happy at home? Are you bored at home? Oh, so what's your favorite pastime? Watching TV? Okay. Okay, WhatsApp and Facebook and your mobile and various movies. Okay, fine. So, don't you have pets? Oh, okay. So, which is the best animal to keep as pet? Cat? Okay. Dog. Then, do all animals like to be petted? Huh? No. What about wild animals? No? Who said they won't have feelings? They do have feelings. Do you want to see my friend's pet? He's here. May I call him? Bruno? He is my friend's pet, Bruno. Yes, he is Bruno. A sloth bear. Pet sloth bear. My friend's husband, Mr. Kenneth Anderson, got him by accident. I'll tell you their story, which is narrated by my friend's husband, Mr. Kenneth. As he narrated the story, let me call him the narrator. 2 years before, the time when the story was happened, Mr. Kenneth and his friends were passing through a sugarcane field near Mysore. The farmers were driving out the pigs from the field by shooting at them. As it was apparently over, suddenly a sloth bear appeared from the fields. It was panting, means breathing heavily due to running and the excessive heat. My friend's husband, Mr. Kenneth, said he won't shoot any animal, especially a bear, wantonly, means without any reason. But one of his companions did, and the bear was shot dead. As they were watching the fallen animal, they were surprised to see that the black fur from its back started moving and left the prostrate body. Prostrate body means what? The body which is fallen with the head facing the ground. Okay. And then they recognized it as a baby bear. The bear was riding on its mother's back, and when the sudden shot killed her. So the narrator tried to catch the baby bear. The baby scooted, means it escaped into the sugarcane field. The group chased it, and finally the narrator caught hold of it from the scuff of its neck. Scuff of its neck means the back of its neck. And the baby bear started to scratch him with its hook-shaped claws. But the narrator, anyway, the group stuffed the bear into a gunny bag and then took it to Bengaluru. The narrator gifted the bear to his wife. His wife, my friend, was so happy, and she tied a colored ribbon around its neck, and as it was a male cub, she christened it, she named it as Bruno. Bruno started drinking milk from the bottle very quickly, and within a few days he started eating and drinking everything else, and everything else is the right word to say, because he would eat everything. He would eat a porridge made from the ingredients, vegetables, fruits, nuts, meat, especially pork, and then all sort of curry, and regardless of the condiments, I mean the spices which is used and the chilies and all, he will not bother about it. He will eat bread and eggs and chocolates and sweets and pudding and ice cream and etc etc, whatever comes his way he will eat. As for drink, he will drink milk, tea, coffee, lime juice, aerated water, buttermilk, beer, alcoholic liquor, and in fact anything liquid. It all went down with relish. He will have it with great enjoyment. It became friendly with the Alsatian dogs and also with the tenants' children who lived in their bungalow. And as a bear was left free, it played and ran around the house and even slept in the in their bed. And one day an accident befell him. Do you want to know? Bruno drank the poison, barium carbonate, which was kept to kill the rat and the mice that got into the library. He was paralyzed and he could not stand on feet. Somehow it reached my friend and she called her husband and he realized that what happened. And immediately they took Bruno to a veterinary doctor. The doctor took out the medicinal books and searched the index for poisoning by barium carbonate. He was asking, which one, sir? What did you say, sir? Barium salt? And then barium carbonate. Okay, barium carbonate, he got it. He took out the syringe and the medicine, and Bruno was struggling to move by that time. He was vomiting, he was breathing heavily and gaping his mouth. Gaping means keeping his mouth wide open, and doctor asked everyone to hold Bruno. Hold him. Everybody please hold him. He said it was screaming when the medicine was injected. In goes the hypodermic, the medicine 10 cc of antidote. It is given for counteracting the poison, and it enters the system without a drop being wasted. 10 minutes later, the condition unchanged. Nothing happened, and another dose of injection has been given. 10 minutes later, Bruno started breathing a little more easier. It eased, and he could stand after 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, he ate food. It gave him such a look as if he is completely okay and all right. And he looked at my friend disdainfully, as much as to say, like, what's barium carbonate to do with a big black bear? Like, in another incident, Bruno drank used engine oil, which was taken out of the Studebaker cart by my friend's husband, and he kept it to get rid of the termites. Bruno promptly drank the entire engine oil which was kept there, but it has no ill effects whatever, that did not affect him at all. As the days passed, Bruno grew bigger and bigger and outgrew the Alsatian dogs. Now he has become very big, and still it was sweet and naughty and playful like before. He was very fond of everyone, and my friend was very attached to Bruno and vice versa. Bruno also was very attached with my friend. She changed her name to Baba instead of calling him Bruno, which means a small boy in Hindustani language. Baba did some tricks when he was ordered. Baba wrestle when they say, or Baba box when she say. He would wrestle the person and he would overpower him. When he was commanded, Baba hold the gun, he would put the stick as a gun and point it. He would do that, okay, and as if he was ready to shoot the person. When Baba was asked, where's the baby, Baba? Then immediately he would take a stick and he would hold it as a baby, a piece of wood he will take and he will cradle it, and affectionately he will take it and he will do as if it is a baby. So he had hidden the pieces of wood under the straw bed. This piece he will keep under the straw bed. And as he grew big, he was changed because he could be a threat to the tenants' children. And my friend's husband and a son and everyone of his 3 friends, all of us advised her to send Baba to this When we advised her, when friends all started advising her to send them, she agreed. She agreed to, and then she has written a letter to the curator. Curator is the in charge person of the zoo. To the in charge, she has written a letter inquiring if he would keep a bear at the zoo. And he confirmed and said, yes, you can. Baba was sent to Mysore Zoo, packed in a cage, kept in a lorry. They have taken him. So he traveled a distance of from Bangalore to Mysore. It is 87 miles. And then he traveled and he reached the zoo. We all missed him. We all missed him greatly, but in a sense, we were relieved. At least he's there in the zoo. But my friend was inconsolable. She wept and fretted and worried about Baba's well-being, and for the first few days, she didn't even drink or eat. Then she wrote a number of letters to the curator. How was Baba? And asking everything, how was Baba, whether he's eating, how is his health. And back came the reply, well, but fretting. He too refuses the food. So Baba was also undergoing the similar situation like my friend. And after that, she started begging all the friends who were going to Mysore, please go and meet Baba. Make it a point to go and meet Baba in the zoo and see how Baba is getting along. Whomever went there, they reported that he is quite okay. He was well, but he looked very thin and sad. And all the keepers at the zoo said he was fretting. He's not having food, just like my friend. So for 3 months, I guess, Mr. Kenneth managed to restrain my friend from visiting Mysore Zoo. But after 3 months, she said, one day finally she said, I must go and see Baba. Either you take me by car or I will go myself by bus or train. So her husband took her by car and finally they went to see Baba at the zoo. We friends thought that Baba would not be recognizing her. And her husband also thought in a similar way. But to our amazement, when she was a few steps away from the cage, Baba saw her and recognized her. He screamed with happiness and she ran up to him, petted him, and Baba was very happy to have her back. For the next few hours, maybe 3 hours, I guess, 3 hours she would not leave the cage. She gave him tea, lemonade, cakes and ice cream and whatnot, and then closing time came. They have to leave. She started crying and she cried bitterly. Baba cried bitterly. So even the hardened curator and the keepers felt depressed. As for Mr. Kenneth, he knew that the next step would be asking Baba to be taken along with them to Bangalore. He expected that, so he was simply standing there. So then she started pleading. Oh sir, please sir, she asked to the curator and to the keepers, may I have my Baba back? And hesitantly that person answered, madam, he belongs to the zoo. And it's a government property now, so I'll not be able to give a government property to somebody else. And if my boss, the superintendent who is there in Bangalore, if he agrees, certainly you may have him back. Then they returned to Bangalore and visited the superintendent at his Bangalore, and she started crying there also. She requested that both of them were really worried and about each other. A tearful pleading she made, like, Baba and I are both fretting for each other. Will you please give him back to me? She requested to have Baba back, and the superintendent was a kind-hearted man. He accepted her request. He wrote to the zoo in charge to arrange a cage for transporting Baba to Bangalore. And then they went to Mysuru again with the superintendent's letter. Baba was put in a cage, and the cage was kept on the top of the car, and it was tied securely, and they have returned to Bangalore. At their home, her narrator has made some arrangements. In Bangalore, a team of workers were employed to execute some work in the backyard. As Baba was a fully grown bear, he had to be kept isolated. He would not be able to be kept inside the house. So an island was created, which was a 20 feet long and 15 feet wide. It was built, an island was built. It was surrounded by a dry pit which was 6 feet wide and 7 feet deep. You must have seen similar kind of islands in the zoo where bears are kept. It is to just isolate them. It was made in this fashion because a bear would not be able to cross the pit over to the area where people inhabited. So it will not be a threat for people. What all things used by Baba was kept securely by my friends. So these things were kept on the island. There were the wooden box which was previously used to keep the cock and hens, but now it is used for Baba as his pet, so to sleep at night. So and then the straw was kept in the box and to keep him warm, and then the piece of wood which Baba used to carry as a cradle as a baby, that was kept, and the stick which he used to point as a gun were also kept there. And so he may feel like, everything was placed there, he will be able to play there. So after a few days, when it was ready, the schoolies, the workers, they hoisted the cage onto the island, and Baba was released. He was delighted, and standing on its hind legs, he pointed his gun and cradled his baby. And my friend, she spent hours sitting on a chair there while Baba sat on her lap. He was 15 months old by that time and pretty heavy, but still, that was the bond between my friend and Baba. The way my friend reaches the island leaves is very interesting. Her husband has tied a rope to the overhanging branch of a mango tree with a loop at its end. Putting one foot in the loop, she kicks off with the other to bridge the 6-foot gap and then constitute the width of the surrounding pit. Returning journey is also made in the similar fashion. So, it was their bond, and it was the way she loved the animal, and we can conclude that the animals have emotions and they remember people, and they also have individual qualities and whatnot. It's just like human beings. So who can say that a sloth bear has no sense of affection, no memory, or no individual character?